What is about 6 inches in length, but when heated by the sun, gets shorter and shorter until it turns into water. Let me take you on a special trip when 8 days after the full moon in October and again in November every year. And we're going to fish something that is about 6 inches in length, but when heated by the sun, it starts to get shorter and shorter until it turns into water. We are going to Fiji, Palolo group, Fulanga Island. Also on Fulanga, there are just a couple of places where the balolo is collected. Sounds like voodoo, doesn't it? Balolo. In the old days, the families would go the day before to these places, which is more or less the same place every year, and sleep out in a fishing camp in order to be right there very early the next morning. A local lady told me on a quiet night you can hear the sea crackling. And when you open your eyes, magic swims everywhere around you. The rising of the balolo, the bounty of the sea. Women scoop it up and men prepare the cooking pots. And before very long, the exquisite taste of the balolo can be savored. So what is this colorful spaghetti called balolo? Worms, and not just any worm, polychaetes, which is a class of marine annelid worms. Red is male and green female. Some polychaetes have red blood and some have green blood, but the color of the balolo is due to the color of the eggs and spawn. Once that is out, the balolo is colorless. The balolo settles in the medium to shallow reefs and burrows a dwelling. Much of the year they look like any other worm, but comes breeding time, the worm undergoes a remarkable transformation as new, specialized segments begin to grow from its rear end. Each of the segments is packed with eggs and sperm. It grows until the worm can be clearly divided into 2 halves. The new rear half is responsible for breeding. The epitoques, rear halves, are shed and spiral to the surface where the outer skin of the segments from millions of worms burst open. I guess that's what you can hear on a quiet night. Releasing their eggs and sperm into the water. The new larvae will float amongst the plankton for a few days, then sink to the bottom, burrow into the reef, and grow into the next generation. This life-generating explosion for the balolo is just one night in the year. Generally, a small rise in October and a bigger rise in November. It is also the spring season in the southern hemisphere. With the heat of the sun, they melt away, and then you can smell the sea. What happened to the parent worm? It takes a few days to recoup and regrow all the necessary to continue life. I could not discover how old they get. The locals scoop it up. It is still alive and swimming, but rather motionless when out of the water. Then fill the big pots and cook it immediately for about 10 minutes. The color changed to gray-green because there are more female than male balolo, and it has the consistency of cooked spinach. It is spread out on the leaves to drain excess water off, and then neatly sized and wrapped for storage. Please note, the palm leaves used here are not just everywhere around. Special palm grow on specific places. It tastes like the sea. Some, however, close their eyes very tight. Just look at this excellent nutritious value of the balolo. And while Mom and Dad toil at this specialty, the boys are fishing. 1 week of novelty eating.